Good evening. I'm going to call this meeting of West Burlington City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Christie.
Here.
Crowner.
Here.
Heitmeyer. Lees.
Here.
Waterman.
Here.
We need to perfect and approve the agenda under new agenda, item number 6. I'm going to move that up to the top to be the first one under new business.
Motion to approve as amended.
Support.
Motion with support. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consent agenda.
Motion to approve is presented.
Support.
There's a motion with support to approve consent agendas items 1 through 11, which is the minutes from the regular city council meeting on March 3rd, 2021. Payment to Brockway Company, a payment to Dave Bazine Electric, payment to Dave Smith Construction Company, payment to Des Moines County Regional Waste Commission, payment to Hydroview Midwest, payment to Tri-City Blacktop, payment to Tyler Technologies, payment to Burlington Municipal Waterworks, Finance Officer Sattler and Moore's attendance at the Iowa Municipal Finance Officer Association Conference, and the claims list as presented in the amount of $173,139.31. Any discussion? Roll call.
Lees.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Staff reports. Dan?
I got a couple things. I got some great news and some not so great news. Great news, of the rescue package, it looks, the West Burlington is slated to get about $400,000. It's slated for sewer and water or broadband infrastructure projects. Nobody knows quite what that means yet. They're going to be developing guidance and all that going forward, so I'll keep you posted on that. On the not so great news, we're looking at that, been talking over the last few months about the possible development of the industrial park out there by the Raider building. It looks like we're okay with the building that's already there, but if we're gonna bring in more industrial, we're gonna have to do something serious with the sewer, and that's gonna be a little more of an extensive project to get sewer to it. We're still early in engineering and anywhere with that, but just trying to keep you posted on what's coming up with that, and I'll keep you posted as I know more, as the engineers get looking at what exactly we're gonna need to do there. But it was a little different than anybody thought, since we basically took over that sewer from Raiders when we connected that, so nobody really knew what was going on until we had engineers looking at it and for this RISE project. So as I learn more, I'll keep you posted.
Any questions for Dan?
Yeah, Dan, I didn't know whether to address you or Sean on this, but I know that some businesses have closed recently in West Burlington, large and small. And I just wondered if there's a process where the city knows what is closing, what businesses are closing. Do we know that?
Large employers by law have to let us know like 90 days ahead of time, I think is what it is. And with that, they kind of tell us why. Normally it's very generic. It's just like for financial reasons, which is obviously what any decision a business makes is probably for financial reasons. Small ones though, it's hit and miss whether we find out about it. Normally we probably find out when everybody else does. And nobody really reaches out to us with the small ones.
Okay, and so my other question was, is there a way that we know why businesses leave? But I guess with the small ones we wouldn't, because they'd already be gone, maybe.
Typically that's the way that works. And with the big ones, typically when we hear of a big employer leaving, it's all hands on deck with the city, the county sometimes, and the chamber all works to try to, and the state of Iowa try to work to preserve those jobs. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but for the small ones it's tough. A lot of times we don't know they're closing until they're long gone.
Okay, well, I'd like to just put on my list of things to talk about later, is maybe talk about this, maybe come up with a way that we can reach out to the ones who are gone and see, see why, and maybe see if there was something that we could do, or needs to be changed, or anyway, just find out why, so we can talk about that later.
Well, I can tell you about ABB, because I send out the letter to each one of you.
Yeah.
Look, that's the
Yeah.
notification that I got. And then as soon as I heard about it, back in December, I sent a letter to their corporate headquarters here in the States, and I got no response from them. And I also sent a letter to their international headquarters in Zurich, Switzerland, and addressed it to the lady that just became the head of human resources there. And I wrote it in both English and in German. And that letter came back to me, returned, saying that that person no longer works there. And it came back the same day that I got the letter from ABB saying that they were starting to shut down in April. So,
Yeah.
And you could have seen the handwriting on the wall a little bit when they decided that they didn't want the city stimulus money anymore and
Yeah.
returned that money at that time.
Oh.
So
Okay, thanks, Hans.
with the smaller businesses, who knows? I mean, they might be here one day and then they're gone the next day. You really can't do nothing about it.
Okay.
Anyway, anything else for Dan? Mike?
We just been working on trying to pick up all that sand we threw around all winter off on the streets and cleaning parks and medians, and then we get 40-mile-an-hour winds that blow garbage out of the people's yards back to the parks. So we've been working on that. Alleys, cutting down dead trees. Been some complaints on alleys. All I can tell people is the frost is out and the bottom hasn't set up. We were trying to put rock only where the water was standing in big alleys. We got halfway across town, it rained again. Everything we did is washed out, rutted out again. So, and it's March. All I can say is we got to wait for the ground to firm up. No matter who I go fix in front of what driveway, they're going to drive down there, it will rut out again. So people just have to be patient until the ground sets up before I can fix these alleys. We went through this last year, money and council and lots of meetings, and this year they got it settled and we got some money set aside. The seal coater is supposed to meet with me at 10 tomorrow, I believe, to drive the alleys, come up with how many we can get and where we're at. And as soon as I have that information, I'll let you know. But we're working towards trying to get all the in-town alleys ground, relayed level, and double seal put on them. It's just going to take some time, and just ask some people to be patient and wait till we get the ground firmed up where we can do something. We're moving forward with, we got a lot of valve boxes located that are broke and bent. We're trying to repair them, some intakes. Once again, Mother Nature is stopping me from repouring Broadway back where the main break was. As soon as I can get 3 or 4 days of sun instead of rain, we'll core that patch out and we'll get the street put back together. We're boring down Mount Pleasant with the landfill force main right now on the way to the lift station. They got under the high pressure gas. Last week the boring's done. We're under the railroad tracks. So that's moving along best we can. Again, they're having the same issue with all the rain and the mud right now. Tower project's taken off. They started drilling pylons. They're running 55 to 56 foot deep, I think is what they told me, to get where they need to be. They're pouring 16-foot columns. I think there's 40-some columns to be poured with rebar shoved in them. When them set up, and then they core around them, and they'll start the pad where the tower will be built up off the pad. So the tower project has taken off, and they're working in the rain and the mud the best they can to try and keep going on that.
16 inches, right? Not 16 feet.
Oh, yeah, 16-inch diameter pylons. They're every 4.5 feet apart. So there's, I think he told me like 42 pylons that got to be drilled and put into the ground and set up before they start the platform for the tower. And I need to get with Kelly or Dan here too, or you guys. We got to get a date set for spring cleanup. It's coming up. We'll get that set here soon for middle of May or sometime in May like we normally do, and we'll get a date out and get it posted so everybody knows when that is. That's all I got.
I see there's some people that already have their
We have
mattresses out
several
waiting on you.
residents that have already piled furniture outside, yes.
Mike,
For Mike.
are you still planning on lures being closed most of this summer?
I have not heard from Phi on when that project's even started, so
Okay.
until I know a start date on that, I don't know.
Okay.
Once the project starts, then I'll know. I can let you guys know as soon as I get a start date, and then we can post it and try and fence it off and let the public know where we're at with it.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Jess?
Got a few things. First thing was that there was an accident on Highway 34 today at Roosevelt in Burlington. It was an ethanol tanker that flipped over on its side. It looks like they are just now getting ready to start opening Highway 34 eastbound up at Gear. So I would say within the next half hour or so, 34 will be open. We posted a couple pictures on Facebook today, and it took us 4 minutes to identify the suspects that we had in reference to a theft out of Target. So we want to thank the public very much for assistance on any time we post something. That tied the record, according to Ringo, of how quick it took to take care of that. Talking about Agency Road, we've been setting out there over the last week. I've pulled over about a dozen cars, and every car that I pulled over has been going over 50 miles an hour. Tomorrow I have a department meeting, and then we're going to start. I'm going to let the guys know that it will be officers' discretion of what they want to do from there about either issuing a citation or warning. So the flags are up, the speed, telling you how fast you're going is posted on both ends. It's pretty well marked, so we'll just kind of see how things go here on out. And the last two things is the police department is going to, the guys have agreed to, we're going to start painting the police department. It's been, I don't know when the last time it was repainted, but we're going to repaint the inside of the police department. Our guys are going to take care of that. And also at the next week, at the next council meeting, we're going to have a quote for the new flooring that we're going to lay. Officer Dunham and Sergeant Melson have agreed to assist in laying that floor down at the inside the police department. So you'll have a quote probably next week on how much flooring is, but we picked out a durable, high traffic or commercial grade flooring, so it should be kind of similar to what we have out in the hallway out here in City Hall now. So that's all I have.
Anybody have anything for Jess?
Jesse, I put up a couple Ring cameras and went through the process of signing those up, and that worked real slick. So that's good there, and I'll keep telling people about that.
Yep,
Hopefully
we have that program in our computer system about who's all registered and all that throughout the city. So again, we'll probably put something out whenever we do a newsletter about coming back up to City Hall and just letting us know if you want to. It's totally voluntary, but the more help we get, we appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Vaughn?
Well, Mike and Therese, you both hit on the snow's gone, so everyone thinks it's spring cleanup. I just want to remind the citizens, it's not spring cleanup yet. Please don't put your stuff out on the front. We haven't set a date to pick that up yet. So I've got a few notices going out. There's 200 block of summer. There's a couple over on the other side of town as well. I've had a couple building permits go out for additions to various residents here in town. Did a few inspections this week. Met up with Carl Nelson out at the medical mall. Went through that, reminded him of a few things that needed to be taken care of and addressed. And then on the fire side, we really don't have much going on. We are looking at a first responder course for all those that are not EMTs. FDIC was put off until August this year, so the money that was in the current year's budget that was going to be used for that, I'm looking at trying to use that for the tuition to get as many of the guys their first responder certifications as I can. That would be a good boost in our arm.
Any questions for Sean? Got off easy. Kelly, you got anything going?
I have had several calls about the garage sale, the citywide garage sale, if that's something we're going to do the maps for again this year. We usually do it the first Saturday. I think we started doing it the first Saturday in July.
Okay. Leslie, you're hiding.
I'm working on the budget amendment for the current year. We're gonna have to amend, and hopefully I'll get it pulled together for set the public hearing on the next agenda.
Okay. Kathy, you got anything going on?
No, not tonight.
Andy?
Working on 4th of July. I just wanted to mention publicly, if anybody's got a service group that wants to be involved in some fashion, just get a hold of me. Several new things this year, still working with some people and getting things set. So a lot of conversations to go.
Ready. Reese?
No, but happy St. Patrick's Day.
And happy early birthday to you.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Al, you got anything going on?
I'm good.
All right. At this time, I got a proclamation to read, and bear with me. I'm getting new glasses, and these old ones are just bothering me. And it's for Junior Achievement Day. Whereas the city of West Burlington observed Junior Achievement Day on April 1st, 2021, as an opportunity to recognize and celebrate junior achievement of the Heartland for empowering our young people to own their economic success. Whereas Junior Achievement of the Heartland educational contribution equips our young people to become the next generation of productive employees and self-sufficient citizens to ensure the economic prosperity of West Burlington. Whereas it is fitting for parents, educators, business, and other members of the community to join in Junior Achievement's effort to ensure the future success and economic health of our young people and the communities in which they live. Now therefore, I, Hans Strausel, Mayor of West Burlington, do hereby proclaim official recognition of April 1st, 2021 as Junior Achievement Day in the city of West Burlington. Okay. Anyone wishing to address the council on matters that are not on the agenda tonight? Okay, we'll get right to the public hearing. We need to hold a public hearing on the budget for fiscal year 2021-2022, and I will open the public hearing. Did we receive any written comments?
No,
Any verbal comments from anybody?
No.
From the public? And so we'll go right into the budget PowerPoint. Leslie, you got the clicker? All right. As always, Leslie has prepared a very nice PowerPoint, and I'm going to take off my mask because I'm going to be doing a lot of talking, and I'm spaced out between Andy and myself, and I should be good because I've had my second shot 2 weeks ago. All you got to do is
Just a second.
Get the lights.
hit that.
Power button.
The power, it should be on. You just, Brad. There you go. All
Takes
right.
a little bit.
First page, City of West Burlington, budget for 21-22. We'll go to the next page. You gotta push it up, hold it, point it up that way, I think,
You can point it at the computer right there.
or maybe at the computer. There we go. Andy, you wanna dim those 3 light switches? 'Cause that way everybody can see them better. The other ones, the other, on the other side, to the right.
Those three lights.
Single
Those
ones.
3, there you go. There you go, that works a little better. Okay, in Iowa, there are about 284 cities that have a lower tax rate and 656 cities that have a higher tax rate for fiscal year 2020-2021. Out of 25 cities in the 2,500 to 3,500 population range, 2 have lower tax rates and 22 are higher. They range from $7.77 to $21.76, with an average tax rate of $14.67, compared to West Burlington's tax levy rate of $10 for fiscal year 2021. Next slide.
Okay, the battery went down the clicker and Brad says hits a space bar, but that's not
Okay.
working either. Hang on.
Brad can probably hit and do it better from in there. I
You're
don't
supposed
know
to
where he
bring the
went
clicker
to.
back with new batteries.
Oh,
It's working. No.
oh, well, stuck. Yeah, I got a new clock. Hitting the button won't work?
Yeah, I said hit the space bar. Space bar is not working.
Space
bar.
button's not working, Brad.
What's up?
Space bar doesn't work.
This should be working now.
Is the clicker working?
Well, my keyboard works back there. I guess when you say next, I'll just go to the
Do
next
that.
slide.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Alrighty, we got some levy rate comparison with other cities in Des Moines County. As you can see, Burlington's levy rate is at $16.33, Danville at $12.45, Mediapolis $11.21, and Middletown at $13.33, and West Burlington at $10 for this fiscal year. Next, Brad. This slide here shows you the valuations by major classes, and it goes all the way back to January of 2009, and that's used for the budget year, the 100% valuations without ag, and the rate of growth was about a little over 1% this year. Residential is $131,956,000. Commercial is at $126,369,000. Industrial at $12,124,000. And multi-residential is at $8,121,000, or $8,121,000. And you can see over the years what the percentage of growth rate has been. Next, Brad. And the taxable valuations used for setting the levy rate is, the regular is 100 for this 21-22 year, is $184,010,063 for regular. Debt service, $211,707,000, and ag land, $1,479,000. And you can tell the growth we had over the previous, over this year, over 2021. Next, Brad. And taxable valuations by major classes. For 21-22 is residential is $74,435,000, commercial $113,732,000, industrial $10,912,000, and multi-residential $5,482,000. And you can see this goes back to 2013-14, and you can see the growth again in each one of those. The rollback for, you can see from 06, no, next slide, Brad, I'm sorry. The rollback, you can see, and that is what the state uses to determine what your overall levy rate will be and what you're paying on your property. In 06-07, the residential rollback was at 45.99%, which meant that if you had a $100,000 house, you were only paying taxes on $45,996. This year, at 21-22, the rollback has grown to 56.40%. So that means if you have a $100,000 house, you'll be paying taxes on $56,409 on that. And you can see over the years that ag used to be, had a rollback of 100%, was taxed at 100%. Commercial was at 99 and 100%, and industrial was at 100%. But since about 2015-16 or 14-15, industrial has dropped from 100 down to 90, and commercial has dropped from 100 down to 90, and ag land has had a pretty drastic drop in 12-13, but then it's gone back up to 84%. And this year we're at 56.4% for a rollback. Next, Brad. And this is just a graph that shows you what the rollback has done over the years. Next, Brad. Multi-residential property, since 2016-17, multi-residential property used to be at 100%, and at 16-17, it got dropped down to 86%, where by 23-24, the rollback on multi-residential is going to be the same as residential. Next slide, Brad. And that kind of shows you what multifamily assessed and taxable value is in 21-22. If you had a $250,000 duplex, multi-residential, your rollback is 67.5%. Your taxable value on that $250,000 is $168,750, and the new tax rate that we're going to set tonight is $9.65. So your taxes would be $1,628. We're back in 15-16. You would be at that same property, if it was valued at $250,000, be paying $2,500 in taxes. So over those last 7 years, multi-residential has seen a $872 savings in their property taxes. And this next slide, Brad. And this slide here shows you what the rollback for multi-residential has been doing from 100% in 15-16 to where we're going at 21, 22, and 22, 23. The next slide, Brad. And commercial and industrial property tax replacement. The state legislature graded standing appropriation beginning in fiscal 2015 to reimburse local governments for the tax reduction due to the 10% commercial rollback for commercial and industrial property owners. The standing appropriation was promised to continue, but be capped at the actual fiscal 2017 amount. And I'm happy to say that the state legislature didn't do anything with the property tax replacement this year. They're going to be fully funded again. And in the general employee benefits fund for 21-22, the city anticipates to receive approximately $100,234. That would be an equivalent to an increase in the levy rate of 54 cents for fiscal 21-22. Next slide, Brad. And property tax dollars are the city's largest source of funds for general government operations. And we had budgeted to receive $1,780,142 in property tax dollars at the $9.65 tax levy rate. That's an increase of $6,298 from the amount that we budgeted to receive in fiscal year 2021. And there's several factors that determine that amount of property tax dollars received, and those include the levy rate, taxable property values, and the rollback. And that's due to the increases in property values. We had an increase of a little over $7 million, and a change in the rollback of an increase of 1.33% for residential, and a decrease of 3.75% for multi-residential. The state limits the amount cities can levy for their general fund to $8.10 per 1,000 of taxable value. But then there's additional levies which are outside the 810 limit, and the city of West Burlington uses the liability and property and self-insurance, which is a little over 10 cents per thousand, and FICA and IPERS at 67 cents per thousand, and a lot of other employee benefits at 70 cents per thousand. So total tax rate for 21-22 that we have published is $9.65. Next slide, Brad, please. And this is kind of for folks if they want to figure out what their property taxes are going to be. It's a very simple formula. You take your assessed value of your property times the rollback, which in this presentation here we used $100,000 if your house is valued at $100,000, times the 56.4094%. It comes up with a taxable value of $56,409. And then you take that taxable value times the levy rate of $965 and divide it by 1,000. And this is what you'll be paying for city property tax of $544 for the coming next year. Then the city of West Burlington residential property taxes, you can see from 2010, 2011 up to 21-22, using an assessed value of $100,000, what it has done over the years. Next slide. And then this slide here is for commercial property taxes. Same thing from 2010-11 to 21-22. If you had $1 million commercial property and you're paying back in 10-11, you're paying at 100% of that. Your taxable value was $1 million. You were paying $9,860 in taxes. 21-22, that $1 million property is now with a rollback of 90%, so you're paying taxes at $900,000, excuse me, and $965 per thousand. So your taxes would be $8,685, and which is a decrease of about well, a little over $1,200. So from them. Next slide, Brad. Oh, you got it? Okay. The next slide is property tax history. This includes what the school district levy's been, and the city levy, and Des Moines County and Southeast Community College. In 2010-2011, those totals were $42.47. In 2020-21, the fiscal year we're in, the total levy is at $36.50, and it shows you that what percentage of that is the school district and what the levy is for the county and what the levy is for the city. So most of your money is going to the West Burlington School District at 48%. The city gets 27%, and the county gets 20%. Next slide. And this is just a bar graph that shows you what the levy rates have been over the years. Next slide, Brad. General fund. The general fund is the chief operating fund of the city, and this fund supports the operations most identified with the city, such as fire and police. The largest revenue received in the general fund is property taxes. It also receives all other income that is not required by law or contractual agreement to be deposited elsewhere. Also included is revenue from licenses, permits, and earnings of investments. For fiscal year 21-22, general fund revenues are budgeted at $2,741,625, and expenses at $2,852,712. And that results in a budget deficit of $111,087. And at the end of fiscal 21-22, the general fund is estimated to have a balance of $502,685. That would result in a reserve balance of about 17.62%, and that additional money that's being spent, that 111,000, that's coming off the reserves. And next slide. And this bar graph shows you over the years how the reserves have been either built up or withdrawn. And you can tell over the years that reserves have been spent down in order to get a balanced budget. But we still have reserves. Next slide. And this is tax increment financing. That's very hard for people to understand, but this is the city uses TIF, and we have TIF debt, and these are the places where we have to pay off the debt. To each one of these is a different project. Campus communities is $71,034 that we have to repay for Black Hawk and Millennium Hall. 2017 general obligation bond of $613,150. That's a street project. 2015 residential project of $12,983 as an internal loan. 2015 residential project LMI, which is low to moderate income, is a set aside of $9,775. The West Burlington Condos project is $37,901. That's an internal loan. Legal services loan of 2020 through, I don't think it's all the way to 66, is it?
That's just a resolution now.
That's just okay. The resolution number is $5,521, an internal loan, and the Greater Burlington Partnership of $5,000 is partnering for the future. Next slide, Brad. Then we have road use tax fund. That is money that the state, that we receive from the state, and that's when you buy your gasoline. And the road use tax fund comes from vehicle registration fees, motor fuel taxes, and excise tax imposed on rental automobiles, and a use tax on trailers. And the distribution is based upon population. The amount estimated by the state for fiscal year 21-22 is a distribution rate of $128 per capita. When doing the budget, an estimate of $127 was used. Economic instability and fluctuating fuel costs can result in changes in the fund. In fiscal year 14-15, the state increased the gas tax 10 cents per gallon, which resulted in an annual increase of approximately $50,000. We budgeted to receive $386,266 from the road use taxes with expenditures of $411,448. The expenditures continue to include an annual budget of $50,000 for seal coating to be paid from road use tax funds. Next slide, Brad. This is your local option sales tax revenue, and we're obligated to use 25% of the proceeds for property tax relief to pay off outstanding general obligation debt. The remainder of the proceeds shall be used for police department and fire department services, capital improvements, capital equipment, and to pay off other debt obligations. And you can see from the bar graph from 2002-3 up to 21-22, the amount that we've received in local option sales tax. Even with COVID last year, it was a very good year. We almost received a little over $600,000 in local option sales tax. Now, I don't know if people were ordering out more or ordering online more or what. And then next slide, please. Right. Then we have local option sales tax expenditures, and the revenues are estimated at $535,000. Expenditures are budgeted at $518,000, leaving a surplus of reserves of $16,641 for fiscal year 21-22. And you can see what's being budgeted there. Police and fire expenditures at $245,769. Debt service payments, the water loan, $25,360. Ambulance is $21,084. Libraries, $36,106. Airport, $22,540. Economic development, $2,500. Capital street projects and sidewalks, we're going to do about $10,000 in sidewalks and $30,000 in seal coating. amounts to $40,000, and fire capital of $125,000. Next slide, Brad. And this pie chart here shows you what we've budgeted to receive $7,568,000 in revenues, and that excludes the debt service and the borrowing of $3.7 million and transfers of $2.7 million. And it just kind of shows you what each program goes for. Next slide, Brad. The tax revenue breakdown, and same thing with the pie chart. The city receives approximately $3.5 million of its revenue from taxes. The breakdown of where those taxes come from is shown below. You can see property taxes is the big slice at 46%, then tax increment financing at 22%, local option sales tax at 17%, road use at 12%, hotel motel 1%, and other taxes at 2%. Next slide. Expenditures by function, and that excludes transfers. And you can see where water is the big slice of the pie for this coming year at $4.3 million, sewer at 1.6, public safety 1.5, capital project 1.38, and public works at almost $800,000, and the rest is made up of culture, recreation, economic development, and general government. Next slide. The capital projects and equipment that we're planning on doing is sidewalks on Melville at $16,403, and that comes from local option sales tax. Fire department training site improvements at $15,000. That comes from the general fund. Mount Pleasant Street geared to Highway 34 overlay is a $1.2 million project, and that's a federal grant and general obligation bond and debt. The water tower, new water tower at $3 million. That's a state revolving loan fund and proceeds from debt. And valve exercisers. Is that me? Is that me doing something? I don't know. Is Brad doing something? I'm just about done, folks. I hated to do this to you, but we have to do this at this time. Valve exerciser is $10,000. Seal Code project, $80,000. This comes from road use funds. Lewis Park sponsored project, $200,000, and that's from a state revolving fund. And the total projects and equipment is $4,611,000. And then next slide is the transfers to the capital equipment funds. We're going to transfer $8,957 to the airport capital equipment.
For the current year, huh?
That's okay, yeah. 0 for this next year. City Hall capital reserves, $5,000. Administration capital fund is $5,000. Fire capital fund is $190,000. Police department capital fund is $20,000. Pool capital fund is $15,000. IT capital fund is $20,000. Streets capital equipment fund is $39,000. Parks capital equipment fund is $10,000. Water capital equipment account is $30,000. Sewer capital equipment account is $25,000. And what this means is basically it's a saving account for each one of those programs. Each year we put so much money away into like planning on purchasing a new fire truck or purchasing new equipment for the police department. So each one of those goes in a capital fund. On the next slide, please. On their payroll, this is IPERS. Employer's share of IPERS is 9.44% for regular employees. That's no change. And 9.31% for police and fire. That's a decrease of 0.3%. That's what the city has to contribute, the employer. The employee contributes, their share of IPERS is 6.29% for regular employees, that's no change, and 6.21% for police and fire, and that's a decrease of 0.2%. We have budgeted for next year, we have budgeted 2.5% wage increase. The city has budgeted to expend $1,731,389 for wages for fiscal year 21-22. And health, dental, life insurance costs, including partial self-funding, the city has budgeted $474,451. And the employer share of IPERS cost is $157,112. And the employer share of FICA and Medicare cost is $132,846. Utilities and water. And in order to meet SRF requirement for the construction of the water tower, the water rates were increased 10% on February 1st, 21, or they increased another 15% July 1st, 21, and 15% January 1st, 22. Subject to council approval on how the rates increases will be distributed, it's $1.42 per thousand is anticipated to meet the 15% increase for July 1st, 21. Monthly distribution charge with a $3,000 minimum. Currently, it's at $24.25. July 1st would be $28.51. 3,000 to 1,000,000 gallons, that's $9.74. It would go to $11.16. The next 500,000 gallons are at $7.48. It would go to $8.90. All water over 1.5 million is at $5.53. It would go to $6.95. Water is purchased from the city of Burlington, and they are increasing the rates to the city at 4% for fiscal 21-22, which is beginning then on 7/1/21. Users of 3,000 gallons of water would see a monthly increase of $4.26, and users of 5,000 gallons of water would see a monthly increase of $7.10. Next slide, please. Sewer, garbage, and recycling. Due to the DNR mandate, sewer rates have increased significantly in the last few years, which the mandate was we had to build a new plant. For fiscal year 21-22, a 40% increase has been budgeted for sewer rates. The rate will increase from $10.61 to $11.03 per thousand, an increase from $9.70 to $10.09 monthly user fee. The sewer capital project charge of $1 per month. User is budgeted to remain the same, $1 per month, and this generates about $20,000 annually. Garbage rates presently are $13.25 and will increase to $13.45 per month. Excuse me. This would be a yearly increase of $2.40. Recycling fees are presently at $3.95 and will increase to $4.05 per month. This will be a 10-cent per month increase, or $1.20 annually. Total increase for water, sewer capital project, garbage, and recycling fees based upon water usage. If you use 3,000 gallons, would be $6.21 a month. If you use 5,000 gallons, would be $9.89 a month. Excuse me. And this does not include the additional 15% needed in revenues for water. Last slide. This shows the city's debt. We have different bonds that were issued over the years, and that has to be repaid. And the 2017 general obligation bond, that matures in 26-27. That was the reserve for the street construction. You can see that was at $3.78 million. Then we have a state revolving fund general obligation bond, and that matures at 27-28, and that's a water project of $400,000. We have another one, state revolving fund, that water revenue bond matures at 27-28. That's another water project at $330,000. And then we have another state revolving fund water revenue bond matures at 39-2040. That's the water tower project, and that's estimated at $5.9 million. And then we have the state revolving fund for the sewer revenue, wastewater plant improvement. That was at $10,442,000. Then we have another one of the state revolving fund of sewer revenue. The South Lift Station upgrade of $1.1 million. And then the campus community is a rebate agreement, and that's at about $71,000. So according to the Iowa Constitution, a city's maximum debt capacity is 5% of the city's 100% assessed value, which this year was $308,287,000, which would be a maximum debt capacity of $15,414,000. And the city will begin fiscal 21-22 at 22.24% of the debt limit capacity at $3,428,000, and will end the year 23.87, $2,891,000, plus an additional $789,000 due to borrowing during the year. Water and sewer revenue debt and internal loans are not included in the maximum debt capacity. And that concludes the slide presentation. Andy, you want to flick them switches back up? Yep. And we're done with the... Any council comments? I'm sorry I had to go make you guys sit through this. I'm going to close the public hearing. So then we'll go to new business. Now that's what everybody's here for, is item number 6, and I'll move that up. And that is a police department contract for proposed employment. What is your pleasure for that?
We amended the contract we've been using, added recoupment of wages during training. That's really the only difference from the one we're currently using.
Jesse, you've seen this, obviously, and are in favor of that change?
Yes, I am. Everything is pretty good.
We'll make a recommendation and have a motion here.
Motion approved.
Support. Motion with support. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, at this time then, I'm going to invite Price to come up here to get sworn in. And who's going to do the pinning? Come on up too.
Moving out of the way, whoever's going to take pictures.
All right, well, just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Bryce Mena,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
in the city of West Burlington, Iowa,
in the city of West Burlington, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
is now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations. I need you to sign this
Right there.
right there. All righty. I'm gonna give this to Mom. And somewhere in there, I'll get out of the way, get your pictures taken.
Can we take his mask off for some pictures?
Yeah, take your mask off. I'm sure,
You guys
think
haven't
you've
been
been
close.
close enough, haven't you? You're gonna get to do this again at the academy. Do a little practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. they're still doing the COVID thing. All righty,
All right.
congratulations. I invite you all to stay for the rest of the council meeting. But want to. I'm glad you came.
Thank you.
All righty. So we did that. Okay, item number 1 is to consider resolution approving the budget for fiscal year 21-22.
Motion to approve.
Motion of support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 2 is to consider payment in Tom's Backhoe Service for work completed on the South Lift Station in the amount of $125,845.
So moved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is consider resolution approving addendum to the swimming pool management agreement with the Burlington area YMCA for 21 pool season.
All motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion?
I know I had an issue with this last time, but I think reading through the full contract and the little change in there, I think this is good for me. So thank you very much for going back and working on that some more.
Ready. Roll call.
Waterman,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 4 is consider purchase of brush jackets for the fire department. 12 of them at $366, which comes to $4,392.
So moved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is consider purchase of a defibrillator for the fire department. The amount of $1,821.18.
So moved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Motion carried. We did item 6. So item number 7 is consider payment to Snyder Associate for engineering service related to the Lewis Park sponsored project in the amount of $4,117.53.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
That motion carried. Item number 8 is to consider resolution amending the Des Moines County Emergency Communication Center 2080 agreement.
So moved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Waterman,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Motion carried. Any old business? Anyone wishing to address council matters that are not on the agenda tonight, or were? Got anything, Rick? All right. We don't have a closed session. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.